This is in Kings Canyon, and it starts kind of at the bottom end, goes up pretty close to the top, and then swings down in kind of a circle and back. That's where the John Muir Trail is, and we were all on the western side of it.
So it was a little rainy to start out with.
Yeah, I see that.
We hike up with Sequoia. You come into the main part of the park, and you park, and then the mountains are all beyond that. And so you hiked up, and how high did we hike the first?
The first day we climbed 5,000 feet.
Oh my gosh!
This is the type of country we backpack through. It's high rock, granite. You just open.
We hiked basically cross-country, trailless, no trails, because we just picked a route, saying we wanted to go up here, we would intersect the John Muir Trail here, and we'd come back along the John Muir Trail in the little 4 o'clock. So the first week, there was no trail. We just look at a map and say, oh, we need to go across this ridge and over this little valley, and then there's a little peak over here. So it was up kind of on the semi-plateau, like
a shelf,
shelf
or shoulders,
shoulders of ridges and so forth.
We got up to a ridge like this. Just on a day hike, we weren't carrying packs. Got up there to look to see where we were going.
Ma had learned to read maps pretty well.
Dad has had me work on looking at pictures and being able to figure out from the pictures where on the map I was, so that that's how I learned to really know what was what. And we got up to the ridge at one point.
I said, oh, that must be where we go.
And I said, not from the map, it's over there.
And she was right,
and
of
you
course.
were right.
You can imagine hiking like this. After we left the car, we saw no people for a week. We saw fox. Yeah, we saw. It's beautiful and alone. Hard to find places that much alone.
We climbed up out of the Sequoia Valley, up 5,000 feet, and so this is what we're traveling along that area. And there's no clouds. Did we have a tent?
I don't think we did. You can just imagine how nice the camping is.
Yeah.
Anywhere you want to go.
Anywhere you want to go.
You'll be able to spot this in other pictures. It's half granite and half I don't know what.
It's climbing Marion Peak.
From Marion Peak, The Bench Lake is
Yeah,
in the
Bench
upper right.
Dad thought nothing. You're taking me up things like this, and I didn't think anything of it either. Palisades, the
That's
ridge
on-
that
on
runs
the divide.
north-south, and your dad climbed most of those peaks.
I mean, you're just surrounded by peaks.
Picture Mount Goddard
Oh,
from Marion.
yeah. Howard and I had climbed that mountain,
Goddard.
Mount Goddard. Cartridge Pass and Caboose Pass are unused passes. The Muir Trail doesn't go over them.
The Talus on
Cartridge Basin.
So we did not go over Cartridge Pass.
Any idea how much your packs weighed when you started the trip?
I'm guessing that mine was around 60 pounds.
I guess mine wouldn't have been any more than about maybe 25. Instead of carrying that much weight, I caught the fish. So
You caught the fish, yeah.
yeah.
Hiking up Dumbbell Gap. From the Dumbbell Gap, Observation Peak, and Amphitheater Gap.
And we're always camping out in the open. I wouldn't do that here in the Rockies for a love nor money.
And just you drink the water.
Yeah.
You probably didn't even know about purifying water back
No,
then, did
no.
you? Margaret watching conies?
Yeah. The little conies that we fired up real high in the mountains.
Oh, like picas?
Picas.
Palisades from Observation Peaks.
If you climb 1,000 feet an hour, that would take an hour and a half, so round trip would be 4 hours.
Just
Middle of the day, you do it in the morning.
walk.
And Black Divide, yeah. That's an area where I think there's still probably no
Wild.
trails.
That's middle
No,
Palisade.
I've been on North Pass.
And Dumbbell Gap from Amphitheater Gap.
Well, that's looking back then to where we had
Where you
come
were.
from. Ma took that picture. She
I like-
had a good eye.
Top of Amphitheater Gap.
I'm over here sitting on that rock. It's just a big snowbank.
So is
Huge
this like a-
snowbank.
And that's the bank we were
that's
on.
that snowbank.
Yeah.
It's like at the top of a hill or something where the snow has been blown up and creates a...
Bergschund. Such a great picture of cross-country hiking and
And
a
Dad
person in
helped
it.
me to glissade down where you just act like your feet are skis. Come off that side and just straight down the snow.
Okay, and this is Amphitheater Gap from the lunch spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you were way up there. Oh my gosh.
Well, we came down pretty fast. We're down the low country by now.
Deer Meadow, I think that's where we finally intersected the John Muir Trail.
I don't know that we went over that pass, though. I think that just was another pass out of from where we were.
The camp above Palisade Lake and Mather Pass.
Now we are on the John Muir Trail. We were returning to a civilized world again, inhabited by people other than the two of us.
This is the Muir Trail. At this point, I had talked Dad into using tennis shoes instead of boots.
I never went back. I learned my lesson.
East across Bench Lake.
They often had cairns on most
So
of
you
the
weren't the
peaks there.
first ones.
No.
Looking south from Arrow Peak.
Now we're hiking south. We've hiked kind of north.
No matter which way you look, they've got a lot of mountains down there.
Back on Muir Trail,
Muir
we
Trail?
did meet some. In fact, we met some people from Berkeley. Oh, this is Bill Gardner was his name. We met him out there, and he was somebody we knew in a hiking club back in Berkeley.
Berkeley. So this is descending from Arrow Peak. Bill Gardner and Ed Giroff.
Yeah.
I don't know that I went up this with you. I may have been back at camp fishing when you were doing this.
I think that could have been. Oh, this was that marvelous camp. See that? Just a big block of granite kind of square in there, and
So you can make a little campfire.
Yeah.
Maybe a little- yeah.
Do you remember it being cold at all at nights?
No.
Hmm. Easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a little pack up there.
That's you. Descending from Pinchot Pass. Ed, Ted, Don, Bill, and Margaret.
They had to work to keep up with me, is what I understand.
Now we're getting down in this lower elevation, but more trees. This is looking down into the Owens Valley,
Which is to the east of.
east side of the Sierras.
Although back then your dad really liked being up on the mountain peaks.
I climbed a lot of peaks on this trip.
Did you have to talk her into this trip?
No.
No. Golden Trout Lake.
Yeah.
And I'm probably looking for dinner again.
Muir Trail.
We're headed down.
Streams
Back
are
to the
getting
car.
bigger.
Yeah. You can see we're way down off of the peaks. The trip, after all, has left a feeling of nostalgia.
Nostalgia for the week of travel that we had had in
Middle of nowhere.
the middle of nowhere without trails. It was the trip within the continental U.S. that was most exploring, and we had a greater sense of freedom with this because there were no established campsites, no established trails.
Until we got out to the John Muir Trail.
Until we got to the John Muir Trail, of course.
We're getting pretty close back to the cars.
No people, I mean, it was totally like the two of us being in isolation from the rest of the world. All of this is just beautiful. I mean, it was a glorious trip.